everyone, this is Mariah. I am coming to you from Melanin Voices to tell you guys about our new Melanin message. Give us a call at 515-996-0299 to go ahead and leave your Melanin message and let your voice be heard.
Hey, this your girl Michelle.
This is Mariah, also known as Mariah Amazing.
And Yuna. Hey. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
everybody.
And you are tuned into Melanin Voices.
Welcome.
What's going on, y'all?
Not much, y'all. Why you laughing?
What's going on?
What's good,
we just had a little rough situation before the recording, so it's a little rocky in the beginning.
It leads into the topic for today.
I don't know how to apologize.
She does not know how to apologize, y'all. But that's okay.
But she did a good job today.
She did. She tried. I apologize for. What am I apologizing for? Okay.
Is anybody like Michelle? Write in and let us know.
Yes.
Either Michelle
Are
or
you
your friend
bad
group.
at apologizing?
You're probably right. Okay. Anyway, so what are you guys working towards this week, or what's new?
Go ahead, you're gonna dish.
I don't know why I wasn't prepared to answer this question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just work. That's it. Preparing for my trip to.
Where are you going?
LA. I'm going to LA next week.
Nice.
Next week? I feel like it's next
week.
Yeah. So I'm just preparing for that and trying to stay sane.
I think we're all traveling around that time because Michelle, you're leaving. Yuna's leaving. I'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. I leave in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, you leave in 2 weeks too, then, because y'all leave at the same time
on the 14th.
Yep.
Oh, that's next Friday.
Next
Thursday.
Friday is next Thursday
or Friday.
Today's the 3rd.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
We're leaving. Whatever. We're all leaving at the same time.
We're all leaving. Mariah, what about you?
I'm preparing for my trip to go to Detroit, and I love my family. But sometimes I pay for my plane ticket. I'm like, dang, I could be going somewhere else instead of Detroit. But I'm going to Detroit to see my family.
Nice. Okay. I'm pretty sure they are excited to see you.
I don't know. I'm just going to see my grandma, because people are aging. She's getting older. So
I don't know how to do it.
So before I just want to make sure I can say that I see my grandmother multiple times.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm. It is a blessing.
Yeah.
For me, I am working towards, well, of course the event stuff, but since we have more of Michelle, I kind of have a few updates for like the event stuff a little later. Yeah. But other than that, personally, I'm getting ready for a wedding and I can't find anything to wear. It's very depressing.
You still haven't found anything
to wear?
Nope.
Dang.
It's just like I'm in this in between losing my baby fat and like trying to fit into stuff I used to wear, but then I'm a mom, so it's all confusing.
So you feel like you should dress a certain way because you're a mom?
No, I don't think I can dress a certain way, but I have changed my like wardrobe since I've had a child. And since even before I had a child, it's just certain things I want to move towards. Like I have an end goal of like how I want to look.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Y'all ever looked at yourself like 5 years from now, like, oh, I want to look like this. I want to dress like this. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm kind of just trying to move towards. So
that's fair.
That's all.
So you haven't found nothing in New York though? Like that's like a big hub for fashion.
It's just I don't have the time and I don't have the patience. I'm not really good with going to like walk around stores. I'd rather just do it online. Yeah. Or I could go to stores. It just takes time.
Yeah. It takes me like an hour in each store because I grab hella shit and then bring it to the dressing room. And it takes me forever. I like to go shopping by myself because I know I take long and I don't want nobody rushing me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I am excited to talk about this week's episode.
Oh, no.
I'm pissed.
I got the message. Well, I kind of got this message kind of from Amanda Seales because she does her side effects on her podcast.
I like her podcast.
So I kind of like the whole side effect thing for this topic. And our message for today is side effects of a toxic relationship. And when we say relationship, we're saying romantic or platonic. Yes. So I guess my first question to you ladies is, what do you define as a toxic relationship? Mariah, whoever wants to
go. You can go first, Mariah.
Okay. I define toxic relationship as something that you, I guess that you can't manage well in. Like you feel uneasy or uncomfortable just due to the stuff that's happening with the relationship. You just don't feel your best self. I think that's kind of how I would define it.
Okay. What about you?
I think a toxic relationship is one where the other person is never wrong. I think a toxic relationship is one where you're constantly going through the same thing with the same person. Like y'all having the same conversation every 6 months or every 3 months. A lot of arguing, going back and forth. A lot, healthy relationships argue as well, but if y'all arguing about the same thing or little stuff all the time, then I feel like that's toxic. I feel like it's toxic when you don't feel valued in a relationship. I think that's something that's so dangerous because you put your all into this person and you're not getting anything back. It's like you're draining yourself. I feel like when you feel sad more than happy, that is toxic. And people have a lot of effect on how you feel, unfortunately, especially for me because I'm a super emotional person. So when I feel unimportant in a relationship, it makes you crazy. Like it makes you crazy. And violence, of course, violence is not good in a relationship.
That's our next one too. Well, one of our things.
Exactly.
What about you?
For me, I think a toxic relationship is, I kind of define it kind of like a hurricane, where when you start to notice when you're crying more, when you feel broken, where you feel like you're getting sucked up and then you're getting slammed down, right? Like someone's building you up and you feel like things are good, but then all of a sudden they bring you right back down and you feel like, you don't feel like yourself. Like Mariah said. So I do define a toxic relationship as if you have all those cues like a hurricane has, then I feel like you are in a toxic relationship. And another thing is a toxic relationship also doesn't lead anywhere. So if you've been in a relationship with this person and there's no growth whatsoever, then I feel like you're in a toxic relationship.
Yeah. And that can also, like you said, apply to friendships too. Like if your friendship isn't growing, like we've been doing the same thing for 10 years now, we haven't moved on. That's toxic.
It can be toxic. Yeah. Yes. So that's what I define as a toxic relationship. And I think this is good for us to talk about because we could either be in toxic relationships or have been in toxic relationships. So have you ladies ever been in a toxic relationship or are you experiencing a toxic relationship right now?
Yes, to both. Yes, to both. I've been in toxic, I guess just growing up and, like being, adolescence, like just growing up and going like different ways. Sometimes friendships, it can be kind of not toxic. Well, yes, toxic because you don't know how to communicate with each other. Like when you meet your friend, like in middle school, I think like people's communication styles change, like just people change in general. So being able to like relate to each other can get kind of difficult. So I feel like I'm in a better space with my friends now that I'm older because we kind of understand each other on a more deeper level than we did when we were children. We like kind of just who the friend that don't want to go out or the friend that likes a little bit of space and may go gold for a couple weeks, but they still love you. We just kind of don't take anything personally as much anymore, so that has made us a little bit more stronger in our relationships. But it has been a road to like discovering how your friend communicates and kind of how they operate as a person. So it has been toxic before in friendships, but I feel like now that I'm older, I don't really have that problem with toxic friendships platonically and all that stuff. As far as romantic, I have been in romantic relationships that are toxic, and yes, yes.
Can you share a kind of an experience that you've had in this toxic relationship and what kept you in this toxic relationship?
Well, an experience that like I can share is that we were arguing a lot. Like the trust wasn't there due to past infidelities or past misuse of trust. And then so that kind of like tumbled over, like, let's try this out. Let's try to work on it. When you if you feel like the person is worth the challenge to work on it, so you try to work on it, and if it, like you said, it stays stagnant, it's not progressing, and it's just the same, you're always arguing about the same things, or you're doing the same things, and you look around, it's been a year or two and it hasn't even changed, and you're like, whoa, we're still stuck in the same spot arguing about the same stuff, and then you realize like, oh, this is kind of toxic. And only reason why I feel like I did stay in that space was due to the fact maybe it was something, I don't even blame other people, I feel like everything most times is a reflection of you, so maybe I felt like I deserved that, or I felt like that's all I would get, or that's all I could receive or accept, so I stayed just due to that own toxic shit within myself. So that's probably why I stayed, because I was like, well, this is what love is for me, and this is what it will ever be. And so once I kind of figured that shit out for myself, I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. That's not what love is, or that's not how it could be, or that's not what it should be for myself. So once I start loving myself and start doing for myself, I'm like, this has to change or I have to go. Either one of the two. And I don't care which way it goes, because I love myself more than I love this person or this relationship. And that's just how it kind of has to happen sometimes.
You're preaching. That's, I feel you reminded me of when you said love is, and the show Love Is. It's a great show and I'm going to watch it, but I can honestly say I am sick of us people, Black people, brown people, coming out with these shows, right, where our love is either with a man that is broke. Like the best man for us is either broke, right? And the successful man in the relationship is either gay or abusive. So it's almost like we always have to be a man's fresh start. And that's kind of how that show is portrayed. And I see that a lot in some of the movies that we come out with and some of the TV shows that we come out with as well. I don't know how to turn this thing off, but do you guys have you guys noticed that trend, or is it just me? Have you seen that most of the times we have to be a man's fresh start, or we have to be with him during a toxic stage? Like this is a part of love, and then we get through this together, and then we're going to end up being something later.
I seen
like
that.
The potential is always there. We always bought into the potential of our mates.
I seen that I think I seen a tweet on Twitter that's like going around, like some girl was like, I wish the hope for Black women that I have is that we don't have to suffer or endure pain to achieve love in the long run. Like we don't have to like suffer first and then later get love from that partner.
This whole fantasy of Beauty and the Beast, right? Like he doesn't have to be a beast, and we don't have to wait for him to love us, right? And that kind of concept refers to reality, where we do see a man who's portrays beast mentalities, and we see that we need to go in and nurture him and love him into a state where he's loving us back. And I think that's what happens even when we're watching that as a kid, but I think that is unconsciously something that we bring into our relationships, or we go into relationships thinking that's what our role is. So
yeah, I have a lot of friends who have been in relationships with people for 10 plus years, and it may not be like a straight relationship, and at first it's always like, he put me through so much and I stayed through this and I stayed through that, and then later on, oh, he's what I always wanted him to be now and all that kind of stuff. But that shit fucking sucks. Yeah. Like, you gotta be depressed for 10 years with this nigga. Like, and of course it's not always bad. That's how they get you to stay, you know. They like you said, they build you up. You know, they make you feel things that other guys maybe haven't made you feel. They make you feel beautiful, but then when they feel like it, they make you feel low. They make you feel like shit. And one word that's like keeps playing in my mind is unreliability, like, or inconsistency. That's one of the most dangerous things in a toxic relationship, because if you need this person for something and every once in a while they are there for you, you're always like, if you need them for something, you're always like, your heart's beating out of your chest, like, damn, is he gonna be there this time for me? Is he gonna do that, you know, this time? Like,
that's a toxic sign.
Yeah,
right?
like you know how it feels to be like stood up by your man. Like, you know how it feels to be waiting for your man, not even a nigga you just dating, just your boyfriend. Like, that's it's crazy, y'all. I'm so pissed off about this damn topic. I'm so mad about.
I was like, wait, girl, my man's to me. Yeah, I'm looking at her like, who we got?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I've been in plenty of toxic relationships.
I've been in a toxic relationship as well, and I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Where, and it's almost, it realized I had to find self-love in myself to realize that he was insecure the whole time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and now I see him as an adult, and I'm watching how he moves, and I'm like, this man is the most insecure man I ever met, that he had to break me down to make himself feel better.
You never see it while you're in it. You think it's you being insecure. You think it's you tripping. You think it's you that's like wanting too much from him. No, this is what I deserve. You know, this is what I deserve from you, and you're not giving it to me. But like Maya said, it's what you think you deserve. And you're like, I can't leave him because nobody else is going to want me, or nobody else is going to accept me for who I am, or or whatever the case may be. Sorry.
Or we get so caught up in that first interaction. Mm-hmm. We get so caught up in how he treated us when he first started
honeymoon
messing
stage.
With us, right? The love he portrayed, or the things he showed us, and you see that side, and you just remember, like, man, he did do good things. It's almost like women remember all of the good things he's done, and as soon as he does something bad, we can erase it with the good thing he did, and we say, you know, he still has potential to be that person again because he was that person before.
Right.
And before, you didn't give him butt, right? This is before you let him get in, right? Take a piece of your soul with him and make you, I don't know, I think some women don't understand the importance of when you have intercourse with someone, or you share your body with, when a man shares his body with another woman, it is soul touching. Like, it's not the same for men as it is for women. We actually take a piece of him with us when that happens. And I think that could also be something that happens before a toxic relationship occurs. And it's very precious. And I think sometimes we don't realize how precious it is until we get out of the situation and realize, dang, I should have maybe not did that. So,
yeah,
I think it's crazy. Toxic relationships. So what about toxic friendships though? Have you guys ever had a friendship that was just draining and also made you feel similar ways that we felt with our romantic partners that were?
Yes. I've been friends. It's like, it's always about them. Like, even when it's your day, it's somehow like your birthday is somehow all about them and their needs and what they want. I feel like especially when it's your day, is when they want the most attention. And I feel like that's a toxic relationship too. Like, you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, once again, from a friend. You know, you spending more money on that friend, or more time with that friend, or more effort with that friend, and they're not giving it to you in return, or like they fuck with you when they want to. That can be toxic too. What about you guys?
I would say, like I said earlier, like more so like communication styles. I don't know if I've had a friendship where it was like I didn't feel loved or felt like I was giving and not receiving, but I have felt sometimes they may put others that are like, that I feel to them are not that important to them in front of you. And it's like, man, but I don't know what's going, like why they're weighing it that way. So then after I talk to them, it's like, oh, okay, I see why you did that. But from that time, I'm like, dang, like you did that for them, and like I can't even get this little thing, which was clear with the conversation. But I can honestly say that I don't think that I've had a relationship with a close friend, that I've been like, bitch, you gotta go. I don't think I've had that yet. Cross my fingers. Had that happen yet, which I'm blessed to say. But I have had like associates where it's like, dang, I know why you're an associate. I'm gonna go back to when I was in middle school. Okay, so I like this guy named Walter, and I told one of my associates that I liked him. Obviously, I'm still mad about this. Told one of my associates that I liked him, and guess what she did, you guys?
She hooked y'all up.
No, she hooked herself up. She asked him out. Like, will you be my boyfriend? I'm so mad about that to this day.
Who is she?
I don't know. I don't remember her name. That's because she's an associate.
That's crazy.
I just remember Walter because I liked him.
Oh, that is really his name, Walter?
That's his real name. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Walter. They get together?
They did for like 2 weeks and then...
That's what y'all dumbasses get. What about you, Michelle? Have you been in a toxic friendship?
I honestly don't think I've been in a toxic relationship. Only because I've outgrown friends. Mm-hmm. And it always dwindles off on its own.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, this is not working out. This is not a friend.
And it's not bad blood though, right?
It's not bad blood. No. I've had one friend that was bad blood. Oh, and it still is weird to this day. Because I think there was just a miscommunication with what that friend needed from me that I thought I was doing, but clearly I wasn't. And then we just cut each other off, like haven't spoke. So I think that a part of that relationship was toxic because I feel like that person's values and morals were not aligned with mine. And therefore what they did, I wouldn't do. So I was like, well, not saying we can't be friends, but I just don't do that. And I don't think she could accept that.
Yes.
And therefore we're just not friends anymore. And to me, I feel like I'm a very genuine person where I never want to have bad blood with anybody. It's to the point where it's just like, I just want to have a conversation with you. I understand you were going through something and you're upset with me, but I just want to be cool.
Right.
Hey, we don't have to talk. When we see each other, we can say hi, but no reason to have bad blood. And I still haven't got over that hump of even saying or speaking on that relationship with that person.
I think the bad blood comes from like you not having the talk with your friends. Just like you sit down and have the talk with your man, like, I need this from you and you're not giving it to me, or I'm upset because of this or whatever. It doesn't seem like that happens as often as it should in friendships. So it gets to that point where it's like y'all end up blowing up on each other because it's so much stuff that you've been harboring in yourself towards this person that when they do that final little bitty thing, it's like y'all blow up. So I think it's important to communicate with your friends too on the same level as a relationship. Like, I need this from you, or you're not giving me this, or I felt this when blank. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
We have a question from our producer.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know if he wants to say it on it or does he want us to do it?
You want to say it? Jalal, take the mic.
Come on.
I was just saying, because like when you guys are talking about relationships, I was thinking about temporary situations or situationships, and if you guys think that it's toxic, if both of you are kind of okay with it being temporary, do you still consider that being toxic? And is it possible without, somebody getting hurt?
I think communication is key. I don't think a temporary thing can be toxic unless it is toxic. A temporary thing could have those same characteristics as a lifelong thing as far as the toxicity goes. So I think if it has those same characteristics, lack of communication, sometimes violence or unreliability or whatever the case may be, I think that still can be toxic, and that can be just as toxic as a relationship.
I think situationships is an ingredient for toxic relationships, because going into something where you both are aware of what each other are doing. And I think if you're sharing, eventually one person in that relationship is going to feel some type of way.
Yeah.
It's rare that I've met someone who's in a situationship who communicates to each other like this is what it is, that don't emotionally feel some type of way about something.
Yeah. So
I don't know, unless y'all have been in relationships where it's like, yo, this is what it is. No emotion, no nothing connected to this.
I've been in a situationship that worked at first. At first, it was like, hey, I'm out here doing this. we both were kind of telling each other, you know, our stories, you know, our sex stories or whatever, or I just let, you know, but then it grew into something else, and that's when it became.
Could you caught feelings?
We both caught feelings.
See.
So
it's an ingredient. Like, I think you're going to eventually, one person is going to get hurt, or both of you are going to get hurt about the situation.
No one can leave unhurt, basically.
I don't think so. I think it could be possible, but I would like to hear from, if our listeners are in a relationship like that, and if you are in a successful one, I would love to hear your thoughts. Put it that way, because I have not met anyone who hasn't got hurt.
I think disagreeing with that also means that you don't think polyamory could work either. If you feel like a situationship will never work, you also feel like polyamory wouldn't work either.
But it's not temporary though, right? Aren't polyamorous like they like continue relationship onward?
No, but it's kind of the same basis as a temporary relationship, in that being there are more than one person that are in the relationship.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible. I talk to my husband about this all the time. And I don't care if one person is being completely honest or there's a good system going on with the relationship. When somebody lays down at night, there's going to be emotions attached to whatever is going on. And I don't know anyone who feels completely detached from a person who is mentally, physically, and emotionally a part of their lives.
I think if it's a long distance thing, it's easy to do. Being a situationship, because you're only really around that person once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months. So it's hard to get those lay down in the bed with you feelings. I mean, y'all might lay down in the bed with each other for a day or two, but you know, eventually you go home and it's like, all right, that's enough of that. Like, I feel like with situationships, the best thing to do would be not to see each other every day. Like, that's the only way that it could be, to me, like, not toxic. Like, we can't see each other every day because we're going to get feelings for each other.
Can toxic relationships be good for you?
Of course. They allow you to grow. Like, even though it feels terrible in a moment, and you'll probably have emotional scarring, hopefully not physical scarring, and it sucks, but in the end, I think that you'll, and it's definitely not going to be immediately after, but you'll get a sense of like self-love and self-respect once it's ended, because you realize, damn, I compromised my respect for this person. Like, this person didn't respect me at all, and I was willing to put up with whatever. And I think you need to take a moment to look back at yourself and evaluate what things are. So I do think that they can be good for you. Yes. Just like I think any bad situation can be good for you.
I don't know if I think it's good for you if you have the confidence, the support, the self-love that you need to be able to have that ending, if that makes sense. I've been around someone who I know right now personally is most likely in a domestic violent relationship. I think toxic relationships turn into domestic violent relationships when it's been going on for such a long time. Yeah. To the point where this person cannot build up the confidence enough to know their worth to get out of the situation, to understand that this person was disrespecting you. So I think toxic relationships are dangerous to the point where if you're holding on to it for so long, you're in a domestic violent relationship.
Yeah, but
domestic violent relationship is on levels of, to the point where it's harder to remove yourself from.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking about after it's over. Like, it probably was good for you. It was a learning experience for you. Of course, when you're in it,
I think it's good. Like I said, I think it's good when you're able to build up that self-confidence, that self-awareness in yourself, where I don't know what advice. I mean, I found this completely difficult to give advice to this person. How do you get someone to see that they are not worth this relationship? How can you help someone build up their self-confidence, their self-worth, if they don't feel that way?
first of all, you need to be there for them. A lot of times you see somebody in a toxic relationship and you feel like you've given all the advice that you can give, and you leave her alone. And I think that pushes her or him, whoever, more towards that person because they feel like isolated. And that's another sign of being in a toxic relationship too. You feel isolated from the rest of your friends, family. But I think that you should try to make her feel beautiful, not in connection to the relationship. Like go shopping together, go get, your nails done together, go do things that like y'all enjoy together without being like, girl, see, you don't need that nigga. Like, you don't even have to say that. You just make them feel good, not in relations to the relationship that they're in. So give them compliments, give gifts, maybe find their love language, see how they like to feel beautiful or feel secure. Take them to church with you if those are your morals. Take them to yoga or something like that to get their mind off of it, if even for a moment, and put them in the real world. Because when you're in a toxic relationship, you're not in the real world. You're in an alternate reality. To be honest with you, you don't really function like a normal person. You don't function like a functioning person because your mind is fucked up. So that's what I think. I think that you should get them out of that situation just for a day, a half of a day. Spend time with them outside of their home. Go somewhere with them. Take them out somewhere. Make them feel like you love them, because they feel like this is the only person that loves their crazy self. This is the only person that loves their emotional self, and you make them feel like, I love you still. Like, I love you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what we could do is after the show, we can include like the domestic violence hotline and stuff as well for people who've turned their toxic relationships into that kind of situation where you've been in your toxic relationship for 10 years. Is it still a toxic relationship?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a limit to your toxic relationship, to me personally.
Yeah, I think toxic relationships can be good for you when you decide to leave. That's when they're good.
Yeah, that's the only time where it's good.
Right, when you decide to leave.
So I don't want to harp on this situation for too much longer.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Let's go ahead, and that was the last question I had and I do have some last thoughts, which I'm going to give at the end, which is just some clear signs of that you're in a toxic relationship.
Gotcha.
From an article that I was reading. But let's move on, and I can do that as my last thought. So let's talk about melanin media.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin's
funeral. Give us some hype. I only had Aretha Franklin's funeral. I don't know if y'all had something to add.
I didn't.
That shit was so epic. You don't need to add anything.
It was long. She went out with a bang because she's a queen. Literally. Of soul, so
literally.
I did like low key. I think there was like a moment in the funeral. I didn't see the entire 6-hour funeral. Sorry, y'all. When Ariana Grande was up there with a bishop, I believe, and he like just made her feel uncomfortable. So that's been going around the internet a lot, and it's like it's really like cringeworthy. You're just like, I'm looking at the whole time like, ooh, I'm like cringing. But anyways, long story short, that was the highlight of the funeral that everybody's like talking about right now, which is kind of unfortunate. So I really hope that he learned a lesson.
I'm sick of that. Honestly, Black Twitter ruins stuff.
Yeah, we can.
We can never just know the importance of that day. We had to go in and make people feel completely uncomfortable about even just showing up.
Yeah.
Like they had stuff about Bill Clinton. They had stuff about the other dude. Yeah. It's like, can y'all take anything serious? Yeah, everything have to be a joke?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, you found the lady that's sitting 16 rows back who wig wasn't on straight. Like, this ain't even what this is about. Like, focus on the music. Fantasia did an amazing job singing. She always fucking does something.
I think Ariana Grande's situation is serious, so I'm not trying to de-escalate that because that was serious. But I'm talking about like the other stuff that's like funny acting. Like, come on, y'all. Like, she passed away. We're supposed to be trying to uplift her memory that she had here with us. Come on. Yeah, so like, it's not even about people in the audience. Like, it's really about Aretha's passing and her homegoing.
Exactly. And I also believe that it was also very political to me. I didn't know that she was I don't know if she was involved politically a lot, but Al Sharpton, Bill
that was
Clinton,
really weird. That was
a lot of political figures spoke at her funeral, and I had no idea that it was so political. I just thought it would literally be around her legacy.
You would think, right? You would think.
But maybe there's a part of Aretha Franklin that we didn't know that came a part of the funeral. And another thing that I want to highlight is that Aretha Franklin died without a will.
That is ridiculous.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard. And it's a big problem in the Black community in general.
Yes. That
life insurance is important and having a will is important. Leaving your people with something. Because what happens is, a lot of people don't know, is when you die without a will, your money doesn't go to your people. Your money goes to white supremacy. That's what happens to your money. So when you die and you don't set your people up, you just giving that money, all of that legacy, into white people.
It's
white supremacy. I'm sorry, but that's the harshness of reality that I think we need to hone in on. Is that life insurance is important, a will is important, and there should not be a GoFundMe for a person's funeral. That's what happens in our community. People are left with not being able to celebrate that person.
I think it's a lot of times people are so focused on living their best lives that they don't think about dying.
That you're going to die one day. Because we all are going to die one day.
They don't think about dying, and they don't think about leaving a legacy behind. And I think that's a problem in our community regarding wealth too, regarding money too. Because as you can see, like, people who have maybe, a lot of money, they don't spend it responsibly. Like, if you, like, musicians who make a lot of money.
Also left with
musicians who make a lot of money, they are so focused on getting nice watches and nice cars, they're not putting money into their funeral costs or retirement or whatever the case may be. I think
it doesn't even have to be someone who you're related to. It could be someone you had a close relationship with. It's called generational wealth, even if it's not by blood.
Right.
And I think generational wealth is something that's what's kept a lot of white people in high powers.
Oh yeah,
high positions. Generational wealth. You pass that on. John Rockefeller. Generational wealth. His people are going to be good for the rest of their life because he set them up for that. You have to plan for stuff like that. You are going to die one day. So if you don't even have a life insurance now, I recommend that everyone has one. I have life insurance. You guys have life insurance?
Mm-hmm, definitely. Yeah. I need to actually raise my life insurance by a couple $1,000.
Get it, please. But yeah, that was my little rant. So that's done with that one. So
yes, that's all. I didn't have really much from. I did want to say there's one thing from Melon Media that I'll leave with, and we can get to more Michelle, a new segment. But Tiffany Haddish lands a Netflix deal for like an hour-long stand-up show. I'm not sure exactly when it's coming out. I did see that she did land a deal though to have her own Netflix stand-up, which is
Tiff.
Amazing. So I'm excited for her. I will be watching whenever it comes out.
I like Tiffany for some reason. Well, I know why. She's like herself.
Very relatable.
She's very relatable, regardless of the fact she's very relatable. I love her.
Yeah.
She be dancing like nobody watching. And I love when people dance like nobody's watching. It just brings me so much joy.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I love that too. So we have a new thing for our listeners.
We have several
things. And it's going to be more of Michelle, and then we have Una Dish. And then Mariah, how do you want to say yours?
Convos with Mariah. Just keep it the same.
What? Convos with Mariah.
Yep.
Right? Okay, perfect. So for my more of Michelle, what I want to focus on is business, of course.
Wait, hold on.
Also,
did you want to keep that? I feel like I just threw that in there, the more Michelle thing. Did you? That's okay.
What?
That's okay. Sorry, I know this.
She said, "Do you like it?"
Yeah, do you like it? Okay, cool.
Yes, I like it. Yeah, okay, cool. I would have said something a long time ago.
Okay,
right.
True, right. I don't even know why I asked. Never mind. Go ahead.
So, of course. So, yeah, more of Michelle, which I'm going to talk about my personal things that I'm working on in my business. And I also want to highlight one of my favorite email subscriptions is called Morning Brew, and it kind of gives business updates about what's going on in the economy. So I would like to at least give one tip every time if I don't have anything going on personally with my business to give to our listeners. Mm-hmm. And if you want to subscribe to it, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. It comes every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it updates you about the economy and what's going on.
How can they find that?
I think it's just called Morning Brew with Joe, and you just go subscribe to it just online. Just Google in Morning Brew.
Okay.
And just subscribe to it.
Cool.
Yes. So first, for the event, I am working on a speed dating event, which is going to be October 5th. So I've been in the process of getting together all the recruitment and all the things I need to do to have this event. This time I'm doing something different, which I am very fearful of, but at the same time, I feel like it's hopefully going to be successful, is I'm going to have a partnership this time. Okay. And this is for the first time I actually had to slide into a DM for this partnership. Oh. And he seemed like he's a pretty successful businessman who lives in New York City, good looking Black man who is going to possibly partner with me on this event. Just so I get a lot of beautiful Black women that come to this event successful, and they're looking for dudes that look like him to be at this event. So I had asked him to partner with me, and this weekend, for the first time, I created actually a partnership agreement terms. Oh, wow. And was new to me, but it also allowed me to get a little bit more insight on what it's like to create a contract for a partnership. Mm-hmm. And I sent it out to him, and hopefully I hear back within the week, because it is like Labor Day weekend, so I'm pretty sure everyone's celebrating, to see if he's going to be interested in partnering with me. I had already had a conversation with him over the phone. He seemed really interested, so we'll see what happens from there, and hopefully I can get these mail tickets sold out this time. Yes. And not have that struggle like I did last time. And then lastly, for my Morning Brew, just for a quick tip for everyone to know, is that nearly 1 in 10 Airbnb hosts in the U.S. are, can you guys guess?
Black.
Nope.
I'm kidding.
Minority?
Nope. They're teachers.
Oh, interesting.
And a big issue that's been happening, which is happening right now, is that they're trying to get teachers to get paid more money, because teachers don't make
deserve
enough.
It.
Yeah.
They don't make enough, so that's why majority of them are working at Airbnb as well as a side hustle, and it's actually really sad that we don't pay our teachers enough.
It's very sad, actually.
Ridiculous. These are people who have,
but they're working on it, so hopefully something happens soon.
Very soon.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
And that is it for More of Michelle.
I have a question. So your partner, is he going to be bringing his fine friends, or what is he going to help you?
Hopes. That's what she hopes.
Is he helping you promote, or?
Yeah, he's going to help me promote. He's going to put it on his social media. He has a big following, and he also talked to me. He said he has a lot of guy friends that works in his field. I think he works on Wall Street. So he has a lot of good looking friends. So we will see how it turns out.
I was about to say, when is it?
It's October 5th.
When is it?
October 5th. So, yeah. So, we'll see. I'll give y'all the next update next week. And
yes.
I'm ready solidifies and goes from there.
I'm ready for that.
What about you, Unidish?
Unidish. Doom, doom, doom.
Put some little pants here.
Wait. Y'all.
You should have like a little intro to our thing.
You should have like the little food.
Yeah.
Or something like,
anyway, Unidish, what's going on?
Go ahead.
So this first ever Unidish is gonna be really simple, because I feel like that's the best place to start. Mm-hmm. So I am super on the go right now. I have 2 jobs, so I don't make time for myself. I could, but I don't make enough time for myself. So I went to a fast food place and I got a salad, and it was a really good salad. Let me tell you why. So I went to Wendy's, and Wendy's and Chick-fil-A have really good fresh salads with fresh ingredients. So the salad was a strawberry, blueberry, and feta salad, and I think it had a raspberry vinaigrette on top of it. And the reason, and I didn't have any chicken because I don't know, when I eat at fast food places, I don't like to get chicken on my salad for some reason. I don't need it. I'm good. But I lost my train of thought. But anyway, so I thought that I would look up a really quick raspberry vinaigrette recipe for those of you who do have a little bit more time and do meal prep your lunches every week or whatever. So the salad's really simple. You just need spring mix. I found out, which I don't like, that they use iceberg lettuce in their salad at Wendy's, because iceberg lettuce doesn't really have any nutritional values.
It's actually the cheapest lettuce, right?
Yeah, it ain't. It's nothing but water. So,
but it's Wendy's.
Yes. So this raspberry vinaigrette recipe is, like I said, super easy. You just need a 1/2 cup of white wine vinegar, 1/4 cup of olive oil, and then some raspberries. And you could use honey or maple syrup, which you shouldn't because that's too much damn sugar. Or you could use agave, which is a really good honey alternative that I use, or sugar. But once again, if you're trying to be healthy, you're going to want as less sugar as possible. And then fruit holds a lot of sugar in it too. So, and you just take that and you just put it in a blender or an emulsifier, and you got yourself a vinaigrette, a fruity vinaigrette for your salad. For your salad, or it will be good on like chicken by itself or however you choose to. But it's a cute little vinaigrette recipe, and it's really good, simple. So there you go, people.
And affordable.
You have been chopped.
Bruh. I'm gonna have to make up a saying or something.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, Mariah.
Let's get into those combos.
Mariah.
So, you guys, I asked my following on Instagram to chime in on what are some common signs that you find to be toxic relationships. God, my tongue tied today. So from Markiva08. MARKEEVA08. Actually, Jasmine, she was a guest on our show for the therapy episode, but she spoke about what she finds as toxic, and hers was emotional manipulation. Someone making you feel guilty for feeling your feelings is what she said is a toxic sign.
Ooh, that's good.
Another one was from Claudie J. She's always a dedicated response person. Thank you so much, Claudie.
Thanks, Claudie. We love you.
Yes, we do. It's Claudie_J. She said, one of hers is verbal abuse, because I think people downplay it a lot because it's not physical abuse. And then Smile Brooklyn.
Love you, Brooklyn. I love her. She's one of my more supportive friends.
Yes, one of Eunice's close friends. Smile BKLYN. So Smile Brooklyn. She says, using you as an emotional punching bag because they haven't worked on their own trauma.
Snaps.
And then the last one that I will share for a sign of emotional manipulation, emotional toxic signs, is one from Michaela B. So MACHAELAAAB. Her said, you never feel like you can be your true self, and you start to dim your own light. And she said, matter of fact, I should have been a guest for this episode. So thank you, Michaela, for chiming in. And so it looks like most people said emotional stuff and just kind of like losing yourself. This kind of a common sign of toxic relationships.
Yeah. I like the one about they make you feel guilty for feeling your feelings.
Jasmine.
Like that is so accurate. Like every time if you go at them with an issue and they make it seem like it's your fault or you're the one that's always tripping, like, no, this is a normal way to feel, like,
right.
And sometimes I like to check on my friends, like, do you think this is wrong or do you think I'm tripping? And most of the time they'll be like, sometimes they do say I'm tripping, and then sometimes they'll be like, no, you're definitely right.
Yeah.
So I have a question I'm sorry, Mariah.
No, that wraps up comments with Mariah. Thank you guys for chiming in.
Yes. We could get a chime bell. Ding. I have a question for you, Michelle, or you, Jalal, if you care to share, whatever. What is functioning relationships at that untoxic relationships? I don't know nothing about it. But anyways,
don't do that.
What does a functioning relationship look like for you guys?
That's a good question,
because we've been talking about toxic shit, so y'all might be familiar with that, but maybe some of y'all aren't even familiar with what a good relationship or a functioning relationship or a non-toxic relationship looks like.
Yeah. What does that feel like?
What is it, girl? What it feel like, girl? tell me. Let me know. Shit. Let us know.
But, you know. Okay, so I'll be quick.
Okay.
Just something like, I guess that's my last thought, is a great relationship or a functional relationship is someone who's all about giving and not taking. I think those are the best. Those are functional relationships, and someone who wants you to thrive in your environment, who makes you bloom all the time. I think that is someone who you should be with in a relationship. So, not saying that you don't have your disagreements, which you do, but for instance, Jeff personally makes me feel like I can do anything.
Oh.
I can do whatever I put my mind to. And he's not going to tell me no. He's just going to go for it. And I do the same for him.
Yeah.
We never stop each other from being the person that we've always wanted to be before the relationship. And I think what happens is when you get into a relationship, you focus too much on accommodating, on trying to make that person, you know, supporting that person, when at the end of the day, you should just be making each other feel as best, as the best of a person that they always wanted to be before they were with you. And you should add value to that person. So that is what a functional relationship does. It adds value to you. Makes you look good, makes your butt fat, and makes you smile all the time.
All right, butt fat.
Like not butt fat, but you know, you look good.
Nah, butt fat.
She can take it back.
You don't look like Miss Pearly. Is that Miss Pearly? SpongeBob's school teacher? Okay.
Oh, Miss
Pearl.
Pearl.
Miss
Pearly is from Friday, right?
You know, you have that glow.
Are you talking about Miss Pearly from Friday with the mustache?
Oh, don't do
I'm
this.
talking about SpongeBob's Miss Pearly. But anyway, someone who makes you glow, okay?
Oh, her name is Miss Puff. Mrs. Puff.
Mrs. Puff, yeah.
Oh, it is Mrs. Puff. Ha!
Pearly is from Friday.
Yeah, I'm like, this don't sound right.
Okay, don't do that.
Jalal, you have anything to add?
A functional relationship looks like?
From a man's perspective?
We all know like what a healthy relationship.
Apparently not.
I was listening to the Toxic Signs, and I'm like, hey, I mean, if you don't have any of those and you're in like a situationship or something like that, I mean, I personally don't see
what's wrong.
What's wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. So if these warning signs made you feel uncomfortable, then you're probably in a toxic relationship.
Right. Correct. All right. Well, what's our final thoughts? I know you wanted to read something from your article, Michelle.
Thanks, Jalal.
Yeah. Did you guys have any final thoughts before I kind of?
No, go ahead, girl.
Ended it.
Just get out the toxic relationship. Get out of it.
Yeah. And if you know someone that's in a toxic relationship, please be there for them, because you don't want to make them feel even more isolated than I'm sure they already feel. And if you are in a toxic relationship, girl or guy, you deserve so much more. You deserve to be happy more than you know, sad. You deserve somebody who will push you and push your dreams and push you to be better. You know, if you need, push you to lose weight, push you to do your YouTube segment if that's what you want to do, push you to get another job. You want somebody to push you forward and upward, and sometimes, you know, stand on their back, you know, in a way. You want somebody who's gonna be the first person at your event and the last.
Now, y'all.
Yeah, she is.
She put her hand down on the table. The first person. I'm like, God
Amen,
damn.
Amen. But also, I think I completely
I wasn't
agree.
that.
We know.
Go ahead, you know. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm weak, y'all. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. What I was saying was,
First person at your event.
you want somebody that's gonna be the first person at your event and the last person at your event.
Last person to leave.
Last person to leave in your fucking life. Be the first person there and the last person to leave. Like, you shouldn't be late. Don't be late to my fucking event.
Oh, she's triggered.
Okay, yeah,
You gonna
she's
drink with your friends.
Oh, no.
Not okay.
She had to add him in the comment section.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
like,
at
who
him.
is this guy? But
You know who he is.
yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the time is that sometimes you are looking for love in all the wrong places.
Oh, put that
Okay.
right here. Looking for love and all. The Pretty Relief song. Put that right there, Jalal.
No, I'm just saying, sometimes you're looking for love in all the wrong places. And sometimes that person may be a good guy, but he's not a good guy for you right now. And maybe that's a good woman, but she's not a good woman for you right now, because she or he is not in that time frame where they are ready to be fully with you. So just be aware of that. Sometimes it's not that person's a bad person. It's just they're at a different point in their life and they're just not ready.
Right. And that's all that matters.
And when they are ready and you going, they're gonna appreciate you for being there when the time that you were.
So maybe if you leave, they'll get their act right. I'm telling you,
but that doesn't mean that you need to be with that person. Don't pretend that you're leaving and go back, because that makes you look stupid.
I know that you're really there.
Stop playing. You playing with fire at that point. Fool me once, fool me twice. You know, y'all know the saying. Anyway, my last thoughts, and I'm going to quickly go through this list of signs of a toxic relationship, and that would be the it for me. So toxic relationships, I'll try to go as slow and as quickly as possible. All take, no give. Feeling drained, lack of trust, hostile atmosphere, occupied with imbalance, constant judgment, persistent, unreliable, nonstop narcissism, loaded with negative energy, lack of communication, continuous disrespect, mutual avoidance, insufficient support, ceaseless control issues, never-ending drama, persistent self-betrayal, constant challenges, feelings of unworthiness, vibes of entrapment, always undermining, empty presence, packed with uncertainty, brimming with envy, shortage of autonomy, diminishes your self-worth, laced with dishonesty, makes you unhappy, feels uncomfortable, lowers your high standards. Boom, done. That's a lot of toxicity signs or whatever. So,
and if any of that made you, like I said, if any of that made you feel uncomfortable, then we talking about you and your relationship.
Nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah, but just leave.
So that is the last of our toxic relationship conversations. I think this conversation can go on for hours, honestly. Because we are all in different stages of our lives, and we deal with different people on a day-to-day basis, and we're in the process of figuring out who are our friends and who are people we want to be in our lives that's going to uplift us, and who are in our lives for just a season, because those people are also a contribute to our self-growth and self-worth. So that is it. You guys know where to find us. Be our guest, and don't play when you want to be our guest.
Right.
If we don't play, we will say no, and we will cut you off. Okay.
Oh, I was about to. Whoa.
That is it for Melanin Voices, ladies. Anything, Jalal?
Black business, girl. More vibrant than Brent's. Well, make sure you follow her. It's Michelle's company.
Follow my company and everything. I do everything. Weddings,
first
bridal
dates,
showers,
birthdays,
baby showers. I'm in the process. I want to be as big as Crow Fest one day, and I'm on a movement to have one of those big events where
it's we all
be a festival, uplifting each other, and Melanin Voices is up there on stage.
Yep.
Amen.
Right. So, anything else?
Love on yourself, people.
Same.
That's all I got. Love on yourself.
All right. Well, it is. I hope you guys enjoy your Mondays off for those who don't work on Mondays.
Labor Day weekend. Have fun. Be safe.
Yes.
Be safe. And we out.
We out. Peace.